We are here with Randy Taylor, who is the CEO of Everi, a company that I guess everybody knows is one that's started off some years ago as Global Cash Access, which was a pretty simple commoditized type of literally cash access company, and today has become both a very successful games company and also one that provides a whole variety of financial security and other services to the gaming industry, a much more diversified company. And James, Randy, a year ago, you were relatively new as CEO of Everi, even though you'd been with the company for a while. Tell us a little bit about what you've accomplished that first year or so as CEO, and maybe what we could look for in the next year or two.
Sure. I think the accomplishment is kind of a twofold, which is that the transition into CEO was really, I think, well laid out with the management team that we have, the executive team that we have, other than our CIO and our general counsel, been together for about 10 years. So that team, it gelled very well. We have lots of things to do in late 23 and into 24, and it's just much easier to do when you work with a group of individuals who have been in the industry for a long time and are all focused to get to that goal. So I think that's gone really well. That's a great accomplishment for I would say 23. I think our acquisition of Video King, which the assets of that company, I think that surprises people. But I think bingo is very popular, more popular than I would have thought. And as at the same point in time, it's going to work very well into our digital strategy, because it's really digital tablets for bingo parlors or for casinos where a bingo is done, and we believe we can bring a lot of our fintech and digital assets to that and really grow that business. For the future, this is going to be a very, I think, extraordinary G2E for Everi. The number of products that we're going to show, the solutions that we're going to show, really, in my view, puts us in a great position to grow in 2024 and 2025. The amount of products, I'm sure I'll talk a little bit more in depth on them, but I would just say I'm very optimistic, and that's coming from the accounting side. Sometimes as I transition into a CEO role, it's hard sometimes for me, but I think that barring anything crazy in the world itself, Everi's in a really good shape for 2024 and beyond.
Do you see yourself, you've been a games company initially, excuse me, you were a cash access
fintech
company.
Cash access, that's correct.
You acquired what was then Multimedia Games, and you got a games component. How do you see the future developing strategically for Everi? If we were to come back here 3 years from now and look at the company, what would it look like?
I think there's a couple things I'd focus on. I would say one, I think the game side will continue to grow. We're looking to get to a 15% ship share. I believe with the products that, we're going to launch 5 new cabinets this year, more than any time in our history in 12 months. And it's going to impact our for sale, our base lease, our premium lease. And so I'm really excited about that piece of the games business continuing to grow. We're going to focus on video reel. We're going to continue to defend our position in mechanical. So on the game side, I think it's doing what we've been doing and just expanding more with our products and the cabinets. We think new cabinets are critical to growth. At the same time, I'd say fintech, I think we're moving more into a digital world. Our Beyond product, which is our mobile platform, really now allows us to bring a product to the casinos. It's not just an app that looks like their website. It's a product that allows really that engagement with the customer. It allows you to put your cash access services on that mobile app so that you can play online, or you could play at the machine. It allows you to, maybe do mobile ordering. A lot of apps that we brought together from the Venuetize assets that we bought. So we've really kind of pulled those two products together into one platform. Allows you to do direct marketing through our loyalty product. Allows you to let people enroll into the loyalty potentially off-premise because you've got compliance products that are attached to it. So we're really trying to bring the Everi FinTech products and games, which would be our digital side, into a mobile platform that is engaging and not just I'll say a static app, but more of a platform.
So this platform has both a B2B and a B2C components.
That is correct. I mean, we have also added a new product called Vi, which is an on-premise mobile platform that allows you to bring Class 2, or allows us to bring Class 2 and Class 3 games to that solution through our RGS, our remote game server. So we're really pulling all the products together, both digital games, both on-premise or bricks and mortar, as well as all the fintech products that we have throughout a casino. Whether it's, again, compliance or loyalty or Jackpot Express, things that allow the customer to have more efficiencies and really, in the end, give the patron a better experience when they're in the casino.
Now, what's the differentiator between this platform and other companies that have other platforms they're going to?
I don't think any other competitor in the space has the same amount of products and services that we hook into on a casino floor from the fintech side. We have our central credit products, we have our kiosks, we have our loyalty kiosks, we have compliance. It's the breadth of that, and then now that we're attaching our RGS and being able to bring Class 2 and Class 3 and provide an on-prem, global, obviously on-prem mobile gaming platform, I just think it would be difficult for anybody to compete completely with those services.
Stepping away from Everi for a minute to talk about a couple topics that are industry-wide. One is we saw fresh front and center in the news today for the gaming industry is cybersecurity. Can you talk a minute or so what you think the industry can or should do better or in terms of cybersecurity?
Better is a hard question. I think it's, at Everi, it's at the top of our list at all times. With our connections into casinos, with our products and services that we provide, it's a top priority. So I think that, I think what's happening in this industry is I do think it's rising to the top of everybody's priority, right? You see how, devastating it can be, and so you constantly have to be trying to stay ahead of those that are trying to do bad things to you. So it's one, you can do things like, pen testing your products to make sure that, that they're, hopefully it's hard for somebody to, attack those products. But it's something that we definitely sympathize with anybody who's been, this incident has taken place at, and we continue to try to improve our products and services and work with our customers to find ways to protect and keep that cybersecurity at the top of mind.
Yeah, well, we talked earlier with James Maida in one of these interviews, and we talked with Rick Arpin from KPMG, and a couple of impressions that I got speaking to them is, number one, that the industry is doing a lot that the public might not realize. That the term penetration test is used, where you have people who come from the outside and try to penetrate your system so you can know how your defenses work. And the other lesson that I got from them, I thought, was that regardless of what you do, you're always going to have bad guys out there trying to get in. So it's a constant effort.
It's true. I mean, one of the things we focus on, and I know it's probably a base level issue, but it's really important, is just keeping your entire workforce focused on it. So we do things where, we send emails out to see what people will do with those, right? Because again, you have to be aware of things coming in through email and not do things you shouldn't do with those emails. And so I think making sure your entire workforce stays focused on it and that it can impact anybody is another thing that I really focus on internally at Everi.
Another topic, industry-wide type of topic that a couple years ago was science fiction and today it's a buzzword, and that's artificial intelligence. Is there anything to say about that?
Look, it's a part of our business already, right? We have facial recognition software. That's an AI product. We use AI in both our game development and fintech systems segments. I would say, look, I think we're taking a tempered approach, right? Just trying to see how it works, how we can utilize it. But it's definitely going to, I think, in the end, provide efficiencies. I think it'll make us better over time. I just think that it's like everything that's new. I want to take a tempered approach and utilize it in areas that make sense and make sure that we don't think that it's the end all to what we do.
A lot of gaming stocks sold off, and a lot of people weren't happy with the valuations given to gaming companies of all kinds, even before the sell-off. Mm-hmm. How do you look at the valuation of a company like Everi, which has participated in a sell-off? And do you ever revisit that topic that when you first merged with MGAM was something that people said, well, eventually they're going to split in two? Is that still part of a future discussion?
That was a much bigger discussion item a few years ago, and that kind of has gone to the back, but it does rear its head as these valuations come down. But I would say we're still very much steadfast on our strategy. But I would say first of all, we're not an entrenched management. If we had someone that came and provided a compelling price for either one of the businesses, we would. But there are synergies. These businesses are complementary, and so we still believe long term that we're going to grow this company, benefiting from those synergies and the complementary nature of the businesses. And I think that over time will come back to the value that we think for shareholders and our employees.
And I guess to follow up on that, the simple question is, what's the investment thesis today on Everi?
When you say the investment thesis, really from our standpoint of how we use our capital allocation, is that what you're looking at, or someone outside investing in Everi?
Well, I would say that capital allocation is certainly an interesting question for you. So let's do both.
Okay. From a capital allocation standpoint, I think our strategy hasn't changed. It's really a three-pronged strategy where first we take our capital and reinvest in our development. That's what we're about. We're developing game content, new cabinets, going into new markets on the game side, fintech adding new products and services, going into new markets, and then on the digital side, with the addition of Bingo, with our RGS, it's what we do. It's all about development, and I think that's how this company grows and continues to increase revenues and increase cash flow. M&A is still a part of our DNA. I think that, again, that we look at those opportunities where it's easier to buy a product than to make it, or allows us to get into a market that we're not in now, and again, it's cheaper. So we'll continue to look at that. And then the third piece, which is probably a little bit of the investment thesis, is look to return shareholder value at these, at these stock, these valuation, prices. We're going to continue to repurchase shares. I mean, since 2022, when our board authorized a repurchase program, through June of this year, we've acquired back almost 8 million shares. And we still have 140 million left in our authorization, and I think we're going to continue to be opportunistic and return shareholder value through repurchases until the pricing and the valuation get to a point where we feel more comfortable.
Okay. Finally, Randy, right, G2E, you mentioned some of your new digital products. What are some of the things you want folks to absolutely see at your booth this year?
On the fintech side, I would say we talked a little bit about our Beyond mobile platform. I think you got to come and see the apps that we have, the how we've integrated it and how it can go across the casino floor. I think you need to look at the loyalty products from a casino operator standpoint. We've made a lot of changes in our loyalty product that provides better efficiencies for the casino operators. And I can't go into them all, but it's one that you should look at. And I think finally, the VI product. I think this, our on-prem, online mobile platform that allows, Class 2 and Class 3 mobile games, and just allows all the other pieces of our fintech, I'll say digital neighborhood. I know that's one that we talk a lot about, but it really does bring it all together. And so I would say those are the things on the fintech side. And I would say on the game side, I will sum it up, Frank, with the word more. We're going to have more cabinets, more content, and more markets. Again, 5 new cabinets. We're going to show a significant amount of video content, and it's going to be video reel content. It's going to be both for avid players as well as for those that like the entertainment side. We'll continue to defend our mechanical reel side. We'll be able to use our View cabinet, which we launched last year at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of this year, that will also be available in the VLT market as well as go into Australia in late 24 and into 25. So I think there's a lot of opportunity on both the games and fintech sides for growth. And then I would say stop by and see the bingo products and the digital side. It's going to be, I think, a very unique G2E for us, and we're extremely excited about it.
It sounds like maybe people have got to allocate a fair amount of time at your booth.
They should. They really should.
Randy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Good to see you.